Sabtu nih ulangan.
Masih sampai Sabtu.
Oh, Pak Arif. Bro,
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this last session of the webinar series hosted by Environmental Management Technology Research Group at the Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering Institute Teknologi Bandung. Today's webinar theme is toward safe drinking water and sanitation targets post-COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. The theme is especially chosen for today because today is the Human Rights Day. And the 2020 theme for the day is Recover Better, Stand Up for Human Rights. The theme focuses on the need to build back better by ensuring human rights are central to recovery efforts. And water and sanitation are human rights based on Human Rights Council resolution. Human rights are at the heart of the Sustainable Development Goals. Allow me to remind you that all the goals and targets of SDGs are interdependent on each other, including Goal 6. Goal 6 has 7 targets that are also interdependent on each other. Let me share you the slides that shows the all the targets. Okay, let me try. Okay, so these are the targets from goal 6 of SDGs. The first one is drinking water. The second one is sanitation and hygiene. The third one is wastewater and water quality. The fourth one is water use and scarcity. The fifth one, water management. The sixth one, ecosystem, and the last ones are cooperation and participation. Today's topics try to touch goal 6 with the spirit of building back better after COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. I'm having problem here on my laptop. Okay, let me see if I can. Oh. Sorry, everyone. I have problem here with my system here at home. Okay, let's continue with the presentation. Okay, as background, let me also share that there were only 6.7% of safely managed drinking water supply and 7.42% safely managed sanitation in Indonesia in 2018. The question now is how to achieve the 2024 targets of 15% for both safely managed drinking water and safely managed sanitation after the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. We have 4 speakers today, and we have the honor of having Dr. Ngok Bao Pham from the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, Japan, as our guest and first speaker here today. Let me share the info. Let me see. Okay. Okay, it's a little bit slow here. Okay. Okay, Dr. Bao Pham graduated from the University of Tokyo for his doctoral degree from the Department of Urban Engineering, and he got his master's degree from Asian Institute of Technology, Asian Institute of Technology in Thailand, and bachelor's degree from institution Hanoi University of Civil Engineering in Vietnam. Okay, and I'm not sure what's happening here. Let me see. Okay. Currently, Dr. Bao is a senior policy researcher or senior water and sanitation specialist at IGS, Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, and also the member of Secretariat of the Water Partnership in Asia, or WEPA. The program is under the Ministry of the Environment, Japan. Okay, I think Dr. Bao-san will share with issues and strategies in other countries that are related to our topic. Okay, without further ado, Dr. Bao-san, I think the room is yours, Dr. Bao.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Arif.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. Okay, can you hear me clearly? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, Dr. Bao.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Arif, for your organizing this very interesting webinar. And also, it's my honor to be here and to share with you some presentation, some talk about this topic. So, as Dr. Arif already kindly introduced about my background, so I will not discuss about this. Let me go directly to my talk today. So my talk today will focus on how to achieve the safe drinking water and sanitation targets in the post-COVID-19, and especially how to overcome the challenge in Indonesia. Within the scope of this talk today, because time limited, so I like to focus more on the sanitation aspect rather than drinking water aspect. Yeah. So everyone know very well that the COVID-19 pandemic has created a lot of problem to our society, not only in terms of the public health, but also many other impact like economics impact and also environmental impact and so on. So as of a few days ago, when I checked the most reliable website from Johns Hopkins University in US, it said that the number of global confirmed case already nearly 67 million people, and so it's already more than 1.5 million people died because of this COVID. And unfortunately, in Asia, 30% of the global case is coming from Asia, and more than 22% of the global deaths is also from Asia. So just to show you how this COVID pandemic significantly impact to our region. And even more seriously, unfortunately that many report recently found that the COVID virus, I mean the SARS-CoV-2, were detected in the stool of the patients, of the COVID patient, and it can retain for a long time, up to 5 weeks. And especially the virus has been detected in the human feces of the infected people. Even the patient who have very mild or even no symptom of the COVID infection, they can still detect this virus in their feces. And in terms of the concentrations of the virus, especially in terms of RNA, it's up to 10^8 copy per gram of feces were reported. And normally, this concentration in the range of 10^3 to 10^8 copy per gram of feces. So it depends on the, and the virus concentrations has it peaked during the first week, especially during the first week of the infections. So that I want to show you some kind of potential risks. And what happened when this kind of human feces has been discharged into the toilets and then discharged into the open environment? And normally, many scientists also found that the virus has not only been detected from the human feces, but also detected from the sewage system, from the wastewater treatment plant, and also from the water body, like in the river. Unfortunately, in Asia, especially in countries like Indonesia, the ratio of the wastewater treatment is very low. So as a result, most of the wastewater has been discharged directly into the water body without any proper treatment. So as a result, there's a huge potential of the risks in the water body. So that is the problem. And not only the virus has been detected in the domestic, in the human feces, but also in hospital wastewater. Yeah. And just give you some example. For example, during the peaks and the peak of the epidemic in Paris, in France, the scientists already took a sample, wastewater sample from the 3 big wastewater treatment plants, and they examined the virus, the presence of virus. And unfortunately, in all 23 sample, 100% of sample were found positive for the virus. So many similar cases has been reported in other countries, including in US, France, Australia, Spain, even in Japan as well. So and also the survivor of the virus in the wastewater and also in outside environment depend on many factors like the pH, the temperature, the light exposure, the organic matter, and so on. So that is the potential. So in addition to the wastewater from hospital, we also found that the virus has been detected not in the water body and also in the flooded water, and also in the quarantine building. You know that in Asia, especially in many urban areas, we have a lot of flooding recently, right? And the flooding will cause some kind of overflows of the sewage. And what happened if the sewage water is contain this kind of virus, and then the people who suffer from flooding event will have a possibility to get infection through the contact with this wastewater. So in addition to that, the virus can also enter the water treatment plant, especially in the rural area. In the rural area where where we don't have a good technology for treatment of the water. So as a result, many people have to rely on very simple technique for treating the river water before drinking. So that's also pose some kind of potential of the infection. So let's going back to the situation in Indonesia. I'd like to discuss a little bit more on the sanitation situation in Indonesia, especially about the universal access targets. And you know that the Indonesia government set up the sanitation targets by the year 2019, that 100% of the safe drinking water, have 100% of the people with access to the drinking water, and 0% of slum area, and 100% of improved sanitation, including the fecal sludge management. And also in the National Medium-Term Development Plan 2015-2019, it said that the wastewater will have to rely on 2 kinds of system. One is on-site and another one is off-site. And the off-site is about 50% of the wastewater will be treated off-site, either through the centralized or decentralized. And the remaining 85% have to heavily rely on on-site sanitation, like septic tank and so on, including the fecal sludge management. So I just want to show you that how important the on-site sanitation system still play a very important role in Indonesia for the upcoming decades. So how to improve the performance of on-site sanitation system, how to improve the fecal sludge management is playing a very key role to improve the situation of sanitation in Indonesia. Okay, so just give you some overview the sanitation situation in other countries as well, not only in Indonesia. So similar to Indonesia, many countries in ASEAN, especially in ASEAN, still rely on the on-site sanitation system like septic tank. So in Indonesia, according to the latest data, we found that 80% of the urban household is now equipped with the septic tanks. And for the septic, it means the sludge from the septic tank, only 4% of them has been safely disposed or treated. So very, very small. And the remaining, like 96%, has been illegally discharged somewhere. So nobody knows. So you know very well that before 2015, the world has already proposed the MDG, Million Development Goal, which highlight the importance of improved sanitation system. It means toilet and also improve drinking water. However, after 15 years, there's still many uncompleted tasks. It means that not only toilets, not only the safe drinking water, but also what happened with the wastewater after the toilets. I mean, equipped toilet is good, but it's not enough. We need to consider how to deal with the wastewater after the toilets, how to protect our water resource, how to promote integrated water resource management. That's why the Sustainable Development Goal 6 has already employed a very integrated approach by considering the whole water cycle, including considering not only the toilets, the sanitation facility, but also highlight the important role of improving the water qualities and the wastewater treatment, improve the role of the integrated water resource management, emphasize on the role of the water use and efficiency, and how to reduce the water scarcity and so on. So look at the whole water cycle in a kind of more holistic approach. Yeah. And as Dr. Arias already mentioned, that one of the goals is goal number 6, is with a number of targets. And I like to highlight some targets like 6.3 and 6.2, which emphasize the importance of improving the access to the safely managed sanitation service. What do we mean safely managed sanitation? The safely managed sanitation is that the household must use the improved sanitation system, and also the excreta, it means the sludge, the excreta must be properly and safely managed and treated, either on-site or off-site. So it means that under the SDG 6, we are not only emphasize on the toilet itself, the toilet facility itself, we also emphasize on the important role of safely managed wastewater and the sludge. So that is important. That's the important highlight in the SDG number 6. In order to do that, I think it's important to consider the whole sanitation service chain approach by considering the all important components of the sanitation service chains. It means that we have to care about the from the source. It means that for the household, from the toilets, and how wastewater will be collected, how sludge will be collected, how it will be transported, how it will be treated, and how it will be disposal. So all of this process must be, all of these components must be considered. So that's why we highlight the important roles of using the sanitation service chain approach to address the issue of sanitation, especially in Indonesia. So let's give a little bit more close look on how the domestic wastewater has been managed in Indonesia. This is research done by the World Bank. It's from 2013. It's a little bit old data, but I think it's still value to consider. So in urban area in Indonesia, by the year 2013, it said that only 1% of the wastewater, of the urban wastewater, has been properly treated, and only 4% of the septic has been properly treated. I know that the percentage of the wastewater treated in Indonesia has improved recently, but it's still very, very small. And also the percentage of open defecations in Indonesia, especially in the city like Bandung, is still very, very high. I know that in the city of Bandung is open defecation is nearly 40% of the population in the city, so it's very high. We need to think about this.
Angan.
In addition to that, because of the poor
Jangan pakai
poor wastewater management, poor wastewater treatment, so it's caused a lot of problem in the water body. So just give you some information about the trend of the water quality status in Indonesia. And you can see here that most of the river in Indonesia has been classified as heavily polluted river. Although it's already improved, like in 2014, 80%, more than 80% of the river has been classified as heavily polluted. But by the year 2018, 2 years ago, it's already improved. And the remaining, the percentage of heavily polluted river is now nearly 60%. It's still very, very high. And the medium polluted is 35%. It's so high. Especially a lot of parameters like E. coli, total coliform, BOD, COD, TSS, very much exceed the water quality standard, especially class 2. One of the reasons is because of the poor wastewater treatment, especially the wastewater from household. We call domestic wastewater, livestock wastewater, industry wastewater, and also from the non-point source, it means from agriculture. Yes, this is the number of sampling points has been taken in Indonesia. And like I said, I show you the pollution load is mainly from the household, a lot. I can see in Bandung and in Jakarta, in Bali, where we conduct some research, we found that the domestic wastewater significantly contribute to the pollution of the river. In addition to that, we have livestock, we have discharge people, sometimes people who live along the river banks, they discharge the waste directly into the river, and also the urban segment, and also the industry wastewater, sometimes illegally, or somehow they discharge without proper treatment process. And when we investigate the pollution inventory, we found that, for example, in the big river basin like Citarum River, Ciliwung River, and so on, the main pollution source is coming from domestic wastewater. And you can see here very clearly. Yeah, like in the Citarum River, the domestic wastewater account for 59%, right? In Brantas River, 47%. So how to manage properly the domestic wastewater will play a very significant role to improve the situations of water quality in Indonesia. So this situation already creates a lot of impact to the society, especially in terms of economics. And recently, I has been reported by the MOEF. They said that due to the poor sanitation, it's already caused some kind of potential loss up to 56 trillion rupee per year. And 50 out of 1,000 baby die every year from dying here. And also the groundwater has been heavily polluted. And also about 14,000 tons of feces has been discharged every day in water body and so on. It also affects the drinking water and so on. So that is kind of a negative impact of poor sanitation in Indonesia. And this map shows you some kind of sanitation achievement and universal province access targets. So we can see here that many provinces failed to achieve the targets by the year 2015 in terms of the sanitation targets. Yeah. So the Ministry of the Public Work and Housing already formulates some regulations on how to manage the wastewater in Indonesia. Basically rely on some kind of on-site or off-site system, and then highlight the importance of the centralized treatment system for the wastewater treatment, and also the sludge treatment, septic treatment plants. However, the real situation is not much improved. And also another challenge is that you know that in 2016, the Ministry of Environment already formulated a kind of a new standard, which is more stringent than the previous one. So for the previous standard, it said that the effluent BOD must be less than 100 milligram per liter, TSS less than 100 milligram per liter. But for the new standard, it's less than 30 milligram per liter, COD less than 100 milligram per liter. So it means that it requires all the existing wastewater treatment plant must upgrade their technology in order to fulfill, in order to satisfy the new standard. That is very challenging. And I must say that maybe more than 80 or 90% of the wastewater treatment plant fail to achieve the new standard if we don't consider to upgrade the system, to change the technology and so on. So in order to address the challenge of the centralized wastewater treatment plant, due to the high cost, because normally you know that for the centralized wastewater treatment plant, it's very costly. And it takes a lot of time to plan, to develop, to construct, and to invest and so on. So I think that nowadays many ASEAN countries try to employ a kind of innovative solution we call decentralized sanitation, like SaniMask system. It's one of the interim solution to address the gap between the on-site and off-site sanitation. And actually, I found that the SaniMask is work very well. However, one of the challenge is after the construction of SaniMask, there's no in-charge agency to monitor how the SaniMask has been operated, to monitor the operation and maintenance. Because if the SaniMask system even is properly constructed, but if it like a properly maintained, like dislodging every 3 or 5 years, then it will decrease, the performance of the system will significantly decrease. As a result, the effluent may not satisfy the effluent water quality standard. So I like to emphasize that decentralized is a good solution. However, the appropriate attention must be paid to operation and maintenance, how to maintain the system properly. Even in Japan, we use a Jokaso system, very advanced technology, but without proper maintenance, the system will fail. So as a result, in Japan, according to the regulation, every year we must dislodging every year. It's a regulated. So the decentralized sanitation system have a lot of advantage if compared to the centralized system. Advantage in terms of the economics, in terms of the social, in terms of the environmental. So I'm not explain in detail, just want to share with you. In terms of the septic management, you know that nowadays we can see that there are so many papers, many scientific papers to discuss about the septic treatment, septic technology, and so on. So the science seems very clear. Yeah, we have a technology, we have a good technique, but the reality, the future is not. So when you look at the situation of the real septic management in some city in Indonesia, you can understand the situation. For example, in many cases, the septic has been discharged directly into the sewage system. For example, in this case, we took the picture from Bandung City, where the septic service provider, they empty the sludge and then they discharge directly into the sewage system. And then this sludge would be mixed with wastewater and go to the wastewater treatment plant. So this process may affect to the treatment process at the wastewater treatment plant and so on. I heard that in Indonesia, we have more than 170 septic treatment plant has been constructed over the last few decades. But until now, only less than 10% of them is still under operation because of lack of sludge, not because of technology, because of lack of sludge, because there's no demand from the household. Most of the household only call for the sludge service company when they have problem with their toilet, like when they have blocking and some problem and so on. So as a result, in order to address the challenge of the septic management, we need a kind of integrated approach by considering the whole sanitation service chains, including different aspects, not only technology, but also financial, institutional, and especially we need some kind of visit model for the septic management to ensure that the septic will be properly managed, and if it managed by the private company, then it will be properly controlled, and also it can help the company to raise to generate the enough revenue so that they can have some kind of incentive to invest in this area. So we need to consider the whole pictures. not only technology, not only financial and so on. We conduct some kind of research recently in some city in Indonesia, including Bandung city and Denpasar, and we understand what kind of challenge face along the sanitation service chains for septic management. For example, in terms of the toilets, we found that there's lack of regulation or enforcement on the standard design of the on-site sanitation system, like septic tank. Most of the septic tank has been designed or constructed by the contractor, and nobody can guarantee that whether they follow the standard or not. Or many of them are not aware whether the standard design of the septic tank is available or not. Nobody knows. And also lack of regular maintenance. I said that regular maintenance is very important to ensure that the septic tank will operate properly, and so on. So there's many other issues. We try to understand what kind of challenge we face across the different components, different process, so that we can figure out what kind of solution we consider. And another example, we visit the Suyung wastewater treatment plant. In the Suyung wastewater treatment plant, they invest a kind of septic treatment system with the capacity it's 400 cubic meter per day. But you can see here the effluent here, very poor quality because of the design issue in the septic treatment plant. So we don't want to discuss in detail, but you just see here the effluent, and you can understand how the performance of the plant. So we need to think about this. And also another example we show you based on our study, we understand that this is a seed flow diagram. It's a septic flow. We understand how much the septic has been generated from Bandung city, and how much it has been properly treated, and how much it has been discharged directly into the surface and groundwater and water body and so on. So this seed flow diagram is very important for the policymaker to understand the whole pictures, how the septic has been managed in that city. So beyond this, they should have some kind of policy or some measure, either technical measure, either structure or non-structure measure to address this kind of challenge. Similarly, we have another example from Denpasar city, Bali, in Denpasar, where I just mentioned that a small amount of the septic have been treated in the Suyung wastewater treatment plant. And also because the wastewater fee has been collected separately, not together with water fee. So it's caused a lot of challenge for the UPT to collect the wastewater fee to maintain the system. So that's why this is kind of a financial issue. So this need to be considered, whether the wastewater fee or whether sludge collection fee need to be incorporated in the water bill or not. We need to discuss. So we also raise the issue to when we conduct this research in Denpasar. So and then we discuss with different stakeholders, and then we formulate a new model or new business model we introduce to Denpasar city, where the household will be scheduled dislodging by some private company. And then in order to avoid the illegal dumping from private company, then we request the private company to discharge sludge at the sludge treatment plant, and then the plant manager will pay directly to the private company. So instead of they collect the direct fee from the household, now they collect fee from the company, from the UPT, depend on the volume of sludge they bring to the treatment plant, right? We call discharge incentive. And then in addition to that, because the household, they don't have to pay for the fee, empty fee. Now they need to consider to pay for a sanitation fee. And this sanitation fee will be used to improve the wastewater and septic treatment system. And this fee will be integrated in the water bill. And then we estimate, we calculate by on the willingness to pay, by on ability to pay, we try to estimate how much roughly the tariff should be introduced to the household. So this is a little bit more detail, so I'm not explaining in detail, but just want to show you how important the business model to address the challenge. And then we also developed the GIS system to support the city to effectively control the septic collection system. For example, At the moment, we don't have any information about household, but we request them to conduct a massive survey to understand the database on the toilets in each household. Like for example, name, locations, the volume of the septic tank, the size of septic tank, when is the last dislodging, and then based on that we plot a different color, right? For example, some toilets, some septic tank has not yet empty in the last 3 years or in the last 5 years and so on. And though based on this GIS map, we can understand, we can introduce the dislodging schedule properly to address to introduce regular dislodging. So to address this issue of sludge management, to make a stable generation of sludge, so that the waste sludge treatment plant, they can have enough sludge for the treatment. So what could be the remaining issue? So one of the remaining issue is the insufficient investment and limited funding for improve the wastewater and sanitation infrastructure, because most of the government, most of the central local government, they often consider other issues more important, more priority than the wastewater and sanitation. That's why insufficient investment has been invested in this area. The second is a low commitment and lack of priority given by local government. The third one is the lack of technical guidance. The government, when they want to introduce some solution on technology, sanitation solution, they need some kind of technical guidance, either from central government or from local government, in order to support the local government to develop a kind of citywide inclusive sanitation plan or strategy. This is important. So each city need to develop their own city sanitation plan or strategy to address both short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Another issue is poor public awareness, because many people, they don't understand that, okay, the septic tank need to be regularly empty sludge, to ensure the proper operation. So many people don't know about this. So we need to improve the awareness of people about this. And also we need some kind of innovative financial mechanism and business model to help the plant to recover the cost, so that they can use this cost to improve the system better. And also appropriate attention to O&M, especially for the septic management. And I said that in Indonesia, we have many programs to support the construction of sanitation system, but nobody in charge of the proper operation and maintenance. I know that the community-based organization who is in charge of operation and maintenance of system, but because of lack of financial, so they also face a lot of challenge. So we need to think about what kind of business model to generate some revenue to ensure that this system will be properly monitored, properly maintained, and so on. And also we have a limited human resource in this area and so on. So this is a kind of common challenge we already identified from our work. And also the effluent standard is quite strictly. So we have to think whether this is feasible or whether we need to make it more easy or whether we should ask the company to improve the technology. So we need to think about this as well. So in IGES, we often said that in order to address the issue of the impact due to the COVID, we often introduce a kind of framework we call triple R. Triple R is mean that response, recovery, and redesign. The response is a highlight from the action or from the intervention that address the intermediate impact. The recovery is highlight on some kind of change in terms of policy and decision in order to stimulate, to alter the development path. And the redesign is to change the whole system, to restructure the socio-economic system and policy-making institution to enable the more sustainable and more sustainable development. So this need to be considered. And also based on the lesson learned from other ASEAN countries, we would like to recommend some key policy recommendation for Indonesia. The first one is political will is very important, and commitment to support the sustainable sanitation, for example, through DWAT. And it's not just the win and not just the commitment. The commitment need to be reflected through action. Action, it means that the appropriate financial and resource allocation must be allocated for the city, for the province to address this challenge. The second one is we need to improve the coordination among the ministry, among the agency within the city and also within the provincial level. The role and responsibility of different stakeholders must be clearly identified. The next one is we understand that because some disadvantage of the centralized system, then we have to consider maybe decentralized solution can be considered as a kind of interim solution before we move to the centralized one. So it means that both centralized and decentralized sanitation approach must be considered. Of course, it depends on the local context. And also we must develop some kind of technical guideline so that the local government, they can know how to integrate the decentralized approach into the overall sanitation planning and so on. In addition to that, I highlight that the business model is important, to ensure the sustainable financial for running the system, and the guideline, the capacity building for the service provider, for the relevant local government also important.
One more minute, Pak Bao.
Yeah.
Dr. Bao, 1 more minute.
Yeah. And then as a way forward, we highlight some important roles, how to improve the situations. I will not read one by one, but just to mention that all the stakeholders must have some clear role, including central government, local government, private sector, and resident, and so on. In terms of the COVID pandemic, how to address the challenge, how to turn this challenge into opportunity. And we found that the regular virus surveillance in wastewater play a very important role. And though also the disinfection technique is very important. So even centralized or decentralized, then the disinfection technique must be introduced in order to ensure that the bacteria, the virus will be killed before it have a bad impact to the public health. And also regular virus surveillance is play a very important role, because regular virus surveillance can be act as an early warning tool to give a warning to the community that the virus has already occurred, and also it can help to reveal the true scale of the coronavirus outbreak. Because I said from beginning that even some patients who do not have the symptom, we can also detect the virus from their feces. So it can be give a more good picture to understand the real situation. However, in order to implement the regular virus surveillance, there's a number of challenges need to be considered, especially in our context in Indonesia. For example, we need to have a equipped good testing facility, laboratory system to detect the virus, and also we need to equip with the researcher, local researcher, with good knowledge and scientific evidence, some technical guidance on how to monitor the virus from the sewer and from non-sewer system, and also what kind of protocol, what kind of standard method. All these factors need to be considered in order to effectively utilize the regular virus surveillance as an early warning tool. So that's all from my presentation today. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Baosan. Oh, well, it's actually worrying, the extent of the virus transmission through our water system, Dr. Bao, because this year is a La Nina year, so it's a little bit worrying actually to me.
Yes,
okay.
Because you know that in many countries, when we detect the COVID patient, and I must say that 50% or 60%, we don't know the reason, whether because of the person-to-person contact through inhalation of the droplet, or because of the contact because of the poor sanitation, or because of the contact in some kind of contaminated object and so on. Nobody knows what is the reason. So it can be from the wastewater. It can be from many other reasons. But unfortunately, there's so many reports recently said that the virus has been detected from the wastewater, from the human feces. So this gives a kind of warning for us to consider how to address this challenge properly. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in Japan, the business model for wastewater treatment, wastewater is based on regulation, not based on politics. Yeah. Why do you think that Indonesia still needs political will?
That is because the situation in Japan and our developing country like Indonesia, Vietnam is different. I think as long as we got the political win, and I mean, I said that political win is important, but political win must be reflected in a way that they allocate more appropriate resource and financial for the sector. It's not just a win and not just a commitment, but it needs to be reflected in action. So, but anyway, like the reason I said, like for example, in Thailand, you know that up to now, the government of Bangkok Metropolitan, they cannot introduce the fee system for the wastewater. The reason is the policymaker, they're afraid that if they introduce this kind of fee system, then they will not be elected in the election, in the next election. So that's why many policymakers, they are not willing to charge the wastewater fee, you know. So
Yes.
that's why I think that the political win in our ASEAN context is very important.
Okay, thank you, Pak Bao. There will be more questions, but the Q&A session will be done later, Pak Bao-san. So please bear with us. Okay, okay. The second speaker is Mairina Fedayati, SSI MT, with the topic of biological parameter in safe drinking water quality. Let me introduce her to the audience first. Bu Mairina, Bu May, as we call her, is graduated from Environmental Engineering ITB for her master's degree and also from for her bachelor's degree. And she is now a doctoral candidate with the TUHH Hamburg, Germany. The current profession is a lecturer and researcher, and she is also a member of our research group, Environmental Management Technology Research Group, ITB. Okay, Bu May, without further ado, the room is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Arif Sudrajat, for the time. I would like to share screen first. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Bapak Ibu, webinars audience, other presenters, Dr. Bao, Dr. Mariana, and Ibu Rosatiati. Nice to meet all of you in this event. Today I will present a topic of biological parameter in safe drinking water quality, a short review what we had and what we will face, especially after pandemic of COVID-19, when we have many concerns and questions about the quality of drinking water, especially in Indonesia, and challenge to reduce the likelihood of disease outbreaks. So we already, Dr. Bao and Dr. Arif already mentioned about the SDGs, so I will pass here, but what I want to highlight here is a proportion of population using safely managed drinking water service. So the term safely managed drinking water service is defined as one located on premises or at home, at your home, available when needed and free from contamination. So there are 3 criteria. So this is a Indonesian target. Sorry, I use bahasa in the slide, so hopefully you can get very fast that the term used in Indonesia indicator, there is aman or safe and layak or decent. Besides that, we also see from the indicator that we still have a problem to achieve safely managed sanitation service chain that Dr. Bo already explained, such as open defecation, lack of wastewater infrastructure, safe wastewater treatment and fecal sludge, and access for all the community with safe sanitation. That will become a problem not only for achieve the target alone, but the possibility across contamination between clean or drinking water and wastewater. Then from the definition, we have to look Indonesia target for drinking water for next 5 years at least. So from National Medium Term Development Plan or APJMN for 2020 to 2024, our national target for drinking water is 100% decent water. or we call it in Indonesia as air minum layak, including 50% safe water and 10 million pipe water. While for sanitation, 90% decent access for sanitation and 15% safely managed sanitation. So the form of decent and safe in the context of drinking water and sanitation may be different, but basically every access can be called decent or appropriate when it is protected from pollution or has the least possible impact on polluting. So the safe standard demands even higher condition of eligibility, emphasizing sustainable and service that do not pollute the environment. In access to drinking water, this means a drinking water connection that is located inside the house and can be accessed at any time. So decent drinking water doesn't mean already safe waters, because we need to achieve 3 criteria. Yeah, from a joint monitoring program point of view, there are ladders of service level that you can see in this slide, which ladder 1 is using surface water as a direct source of water, or we can say no access. And then ladder 2, an improved access mean using of an improved source of water, or it can be using water from improved source, which less than 10 meters distance from wastewater containment, such as a septic tank that happen a lot in Indonesia. And the ladder 3 is limited access, mean the source of water is already improved, but need more than 30 minutes to collect drinking water. Then ladder 4, basic access using improved source and collecting time less than 30 minutes. And top ladder is safely managed with a definition that I already mentioned before, defined as one located on premises or in your own home, available when needed, and free from contamination, or satisfy a standard of drinking water quality regulation. In our country is Permenkes number 492 2010. So for our topic today, I will focus on biological or microbiological parameter. And in Indonesia regulation, it is I and total bacteria coliform, or total coliform. So Dr. Bao already explained about SARS-CoV-2 RNA. So I also choose this picture, but what I want to explain from these pictures and mention what Dr. Bao already explained, that what we afraid is here is a cross-contamination between the water and wastewater. Especially in place where sewer system is not available, or where the wastewater directly discharged to water bodies. Then it raising, or I can say it should be an awareness for us, especially in Indonesia, that from previous slide show that we face a problem with open defecation, lack of wastewater infrastructure, less effective sanitation service chain, so can drive the cross contamination between water and wastewater, not only for infected viruses, but other pathogens, which is actually, I think all of us here already know it, but sometimes we need a big moment to get a lesson learned. Besides that, we also realize that competition between user of water source and threat of water scarcity in the future will even pose more threat and risk of using low quality of water as drinking water source. And what I mean with drinking water is not only for drinking or food, but also for hygiene and other purposes at home, especially. So that is the message that I want to deliver today. So this is the slide. This slide show a result of research by my colleague, Dr. Anindriana Stiti, take place in Ujung Berung, peri-urban area in Bandung. More than 5 years ago. It's all data, but is still fit with our current condition. So it took a sample from around 70 households to compare water quality or between improved and unimproved water sources, as well as the extent of contaminations in different water sources. Both of sources show presence of total coliform and E. coli, which mean above the standard of drinking water regulation. Except for branded bottled water, all drinking water sources in this research have a relatively high level of contamination. On this research, she also get information or data that protected duck well has the highest percentage of contaminated water samples. Yeah, the protected one. Yeah, followed by refill water and pipe water. So contamination is likely to take place in the distribution network and also during storage in open vessel. And then the other factors is dense population in this study area pose high sanitary related health risks, where this is probably due to the inadequate space for proper wastewater treatment facilities and safe distance between water source and septic tank. So it's less than 10 meters. Yeah. So I think this data on this slide is also really show and represent many places in Indonesia that we still face. So another point that also important from other studies that I took 2 studies here is about indicator microorganisms. So review and meta-analysis study that was done by Joshua Gruber and colleague here, so that there is no association between E. coli or fecal coliform and diarrhea, but if analyzing separately, there is an association between diarrhea and E. coli, but not with fecal coliform. So then this team suggested that these 2 coliform groups have different association with diarrhea in household drinking water, and also support the use of E. coli as a fecal indicator in household drinking water. The second review is come from Gaurav Saxena and friends and colleague. He has been questioned traditional microbial indicators like fecal coliform, E. coli, and enterococci as indicator for presence or concentration of pathogens in the water. So from the review and meta-analysis as well, it saw some limitation for microbial indicators such as sensitive to inactivation during treatment, short survival as compared to pathogens, and also bad correlation with the presence of pathogenic microorganisms. Then it's really good point for us, even we have been fulfill standard of the microbiological quality parameters in our regulation. It really means that we already get safe drinking water. So here I will show you biological parameters of other countries, including our neighbors, Malaysia and Singapore, beside China and United States. So we can see that beside total coliform, E. coli, and fecal coliform, they also apply other biology indicators, possibly due to some incident in the country related to waterborne disease or outbreak. So the next slide is a reference from WHO a list of microbial hazard associated with drinking water. So from the list of we can see a list of pathogen from bacteria, virus, protozoa, and helminths. Yeah, there are E. coli pathogen. Sorry, E. coli pathogen, and then E. coli pathogen, or we call E. coli O157. Then Legionella pneumophila, and the popular one for Indonesian people, I think Salmonella, and also Vibrio cholera. So talking about cholera, yeah, it reminds me with the interesting article from the conversation.com that question that is really cholera case in Indonesia already has disappeared from Indonesia, or yes, for your information, the last cholera outbreak was noted in 2008 in Nabire and Paniai district in Papua, and some cases between 2009 to 2011 in several provinces such as East Nusa Tenggara, East Java, Banten, and West Java as well. So it's really disappear, or the case data is disguised or camouflage by the incidence of diarrhea, because the medical or the doctor is only notes or report that the patient only have diarrhea without knowing the pathogens that give it. So it's really a very good point from the articles. And the next is list of microorganisms for which transmission through drinking water has been proposed, but for which evidence is inconclusive or lacking. So it is interesting because lacking evidence could be due to lack of research or study or incident data, especially in developing country, and disease classified as a neglected tropical disease or NTD, such as helminthiasis caused by helminth. And if you are not familiar, it is a pathogenic worm that last 3 years we researched with. So talking about helminth, it's really interesting for me and Professor Barty Muntalif, because the prevalence of helminthiasis, or in Indonesia we call it cacingan, yeah, is quite high, especially in school children. And actually Indonesian Health Ministry having regulation and program to reduce prevalence of helminthiasis, but the data about presence of helminth egg as indicator in the environmental media really rare in Indonesia. That is why we start to conduct research 3-4 years ago. So actually WHO and FAO in 2006 already published guidelines of wastewater use for agriculture and aquaculture, which the biological parameter is amount of helminth egg under or same with 1 egg per liter, yeah, for public health protection. Because the main route of dissemination is suspected from soil and raw vegetable that we consume. Although mortality rate of helminthiasis is low, but the disease can impair the nutritional status of the people. They infect in multiple ways, such as malnutrition, malaise, and weakness, impair growth, and impair physical development. As you can see here, we found a variation concentration of helminth eggs in irrigation water, soil, and vegetables in peri-urban area in Bandung. Last year, we also analyzed samples of water from wastewater treatment in Bandung, and found around 3,000 fertile eggs of ascaris in inlet, and more than 300 eggs per liter in maturation pond. So if we compare to this table from Jimenez, I don't know, we have to classify our country as type of our country. Yeah? So so there are some research about the efficiency of to remove helminth eggs with wastewater treatment process and inactivation efficiencies, which you can see here. So we also start to test the inactivation in lab scale, even many delays of laboratory work due to the pandemic and PSBB. So we can say it's not finished yet. In the experiment, we mix sludge with lime and ammonia, then incubate in variation temperature in lab scale. So we hope our experiment can help to reduce helminth eggs in outlet or in water in environment, and can contribute to avoid case of cross-contamination between wastewater treatment and water. So other pathogen that I want to discuss is Legionella. It is interesting bacteria classified as waterborne disease, but the transmission route through aerosol or inhaling water droplet. Similar like helminth with chlorination, this bacteria relatively resistant to heating and chlorination, and spread through water distribution system. And we can find them in cooling tower, evaporative condenser of large air conditioning system, hot water tanks, and whirlpool spas. In Indonesia, the incidence of Legionellosis has been reported in Bali and Tangerang in 1999, and rare data about the presence in water. So I only found 2 research, as you can see here, from water reservoir in office tower in Jakarta, and also from hot swimming pools in Surabaya. The interesting fact about the Legionella recently, especially this year, that if you had Legionellosis, that the symptoms of this Legionellosis pneumonia is almost, or we can say, same like symptoms for positive COVID-19. Yeah, so they have a fever and respiratory problems. So a study of coronavirus cases in China and Japan found that 20% of COVID-19 patients were also infected with the Legionella bacteria. So in Indonesia, regulation is already standard of Legionella in hospital air quality and also for recreational water. But the risk of Legionellosis also come up to water that used at home and office building. So last but not least, it is not directly a biological parameter, but it is also emerging contaminant that become important issue in public health. And our research group KKTPL also work on this issue for several years already. So antimicrobial resistance is mainly because misuse and overuse of antibiotics for medication, including for veterinary medicine. So it could encourage the development of resistance. And some studies show that antibiotic resistant gains are also found in drinking water treatment plant. And the coliform present in drinking water treatment plant can play an intrinsic role in the transfer of mobilizable DNA. So it can alter community structure of microbial in ecosystem and also in our body ecosystem. So if people infected by the antibiotic resistance bacteria, we will face serious problems because it made loss of effective antibiotic treatment and will reduce the ability of healthcare professionals to fight infectious disease and manage the complication. So the main contributors of antimicrobial resistant dissemination are animal husbandries, wastewater treatment plants, and hospital. So as we can conclude here that SDGs target in Indonesia for drinking water are safe and decent drinking water, and post-pandemic COVID-19, one of our concern or lesson learned is contamination across the water and wastewater service chain. And then next point about the microbial indicators are reliable and sensitive enough to ensure our water quality. And in the future, we have a challenge to find suitable alternative. Dr. Bao already explained about the virus surveillance and also other pathogens surveillance without culturing in laboratory, because needs more days to get the result. So maybe we can use a molecular technique, but the issue is about human resource and laboratory capacity to do that. So that's what I want to present today. Thank you. I back to Dr. An.
Thank you, Bu Mei. Very interesting. I read this paper on helmet belt, Bu Mei. Is it true that people from the belt is more resilient to COVID-19 than the people outside the belt?
Actually, I'm not sure, but because it's far away from my area. But yeah, I ever read a paper that say that if we already infected with the helminth, like filariasis, if I'm not wrong, in India, so they reduce potential to get another disease like diabetes. And so maybe, I don't know, yeah, maybe our body have a competition or build something that I'm not sure, but how to say it.
Still a far-fetched idea, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we cannot say that we have to infect it first before we can avoid another disease.
Okay. I think what you mentioned in your presentation, Bu Mei, is really important, especially during the openings of our buildings, schools, and our institutions regarding helmet and legionella. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think we should do when we open our offices and schools and our institutions?
Yeah, I think first we have to do research more because the many question now, and we don't know the relationship between the helminth and the actually effect. Because if you go to the primary health center or go to the health institution in the local government, the helminthiasis or the helminth disease even not classify as disease in top 10 disease in our health center. Yeah. So maybe people ignore with this disease because the mortality rate is low, but the problem is morbidity rate, and we also fight stunting now. So maybe there is a relation between the stunting and I don't know. So we try to do the research and try to find a connection between the stunting, and then with the sanitation status, especially with the helminth egg in the environment in the area. So, and the other is important thing about studying molecular techniques is really homework for our research group and our laboratory to do more and make more collaboration with others, because for molecular technique we need bank data, genetic characteristic. So it's kind of really need collaboration with other institutions.
Okay, thank you, Bu Mei. More questions later, I think. Please bear with us as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next speaker, which is Dr. Mariana Marcelina, STMT. We'll talk about SDG 6 target versus post-COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, let me introduce her first. Okay, Dr. We call her Dr. Marcel. Okay, got all the degrees from environmental engineering ITB, and she's currently the lecturer and researcher within our group, research group, Environmental Management Technology Research Group (ITB). Professionally, she's the member of the Association of Sanitary and Environmental Engineering in Indonesia, and member of the Indonesian National Committee on Large Dams. Okay, without further ado, the room is yours, Bu Mei.
Thank you, Pak Arif. Okay, first of all, let me share screen. Okay. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. In this opportunity, I would like to share some thoughts. Actually, the title is about SDG 6 target versus post-COVID-19 pandemic. So here is the outline of my presentation. The first one, we will see about the achievement of SDGs from 2015 until 2019. Actually, this kind of achievement have been asked by our previous presenter. And then the other topic about other supporting indicator that support the main target of SDG 6. While we know the main target of SDG 6 is about drinking water and sanitation access. And after that, we will see about the increasing of water need during this pandemic condition. And then we will see about the effect of disinfectant on surface water quality. And then we will see about watershed vulnerability analysis. And then the last one, we will see about the challenges and opportunities to achieve SDG 6 target due to COVID-19. So the first of all, we will see an overview about achievement of SDG 6 in 2015 until 2019. As you can see here that in 2019, the drinking water access, as Pak Arif and Pak Bao have mentioned before, is about 89%. But there are some notes that have to be considered, that as you can see that in increasing between 2015 until 2018 was only 0.9%, less than 1%. And then among those without visible drinking water source, around 4.6% are using an unprotected well. And if we see detail, the most frequently used drinking water source actually is refill water. And this kind of source actually classified as an unsustainable drinking water source. And if we see about pipe drinking water, in 2018, only around 20% of all Indonesian households that have access to this kind of source or pipe drinking water. And the next one, we will see about the achievement to sanitation access. As Pak Arif mentioned before, that actually in 2019, the sanitation access in Indonesia around 77%. And as you can see here, this was only less than 10%, the increasing compared from 2015. And if we see the sub-target that have correlation in sanitation that play important role in this during this kind of pandemic. For example, the access to hand washing facility, as you can see here, only about 48% that population have access to hand washing facility with soap and water, and there are 57,000 of villages and sub-villages that have implemented total community-based sanitation, or we usually call it as STBM. And as you can see here, there are still 24,000 villages and sub-villages that still classified as open defecation free, or ODF. And we move to the next topic. The next topic will discuss about the other indicator that also support the main target of SDG 6. As we know, the main target is drinking water and sanitation access. But there are also several indicators that support the achievement of drinking water and sanitation access. There would be 4 indicators will be discussed here. The first one, we will see the achievement of integrated water resource management, and we will see about the water use efficiency, and then we will see about improved water quality, and the last one we will see about the land rehabilitation. So we move to the first supporting indicator. We will, as you can see here, that the number of there are around 100 water sets that have been implemented integrated management planning and have been internalized into regional spatial planning, or we call it as RTRW. And if you can see here, there are 10 water sets that have been implemented memorandum of understanding within cross country. And if you can see here that we have around 13 water set less than the target that have prioritized, that have been implemented the prioritized water set through the conservation in upstream area and absorption wells. And the second supporting indicator to achieve main target of SDGs is water efficiency. So actually increasing efficiency means we want to reduce the environmental burdens in all the production process. If you can see here, based on the data that we have, the water efficiency from 2016 until 2019 still low, but only around 2.7%. And the third supporting indicator, as Pak Bao actually have mentioned it before, about water quality index. So we got all the data from Ministry of Environment and Forestry from 2014 until 2019, and we try to describe it into spatial or into a map. As you can see here, actually in 2019 there is a decreasing around 20% if we compare the water quality index in 2019 to water quality index in 2018. And if we see the special water quality index, especially in 2019, mostly area in Indonesia classified as bad quality and medium quality condition. And then the last supporting indicator is about land rehabilitation. As you can see here, actually the largest land rehabilitation have been conducted in West Java. In West Java, there are around 97,000 hectares, or less than 10% area that have been rehabilitated. And if we see the number of infrastructure that have been built to support soil and water conservation, from 2015 until 2019, there are around 35,000 the infrastructure that have been built to support soil and water conservation. And then we move to the next topic. The next topic will be about increasing of water need during this pandemic. As we realized together, during this pandemic, the increasing water have been happen because people use more water, especially for bathing, hand washing, and also cleaning of various goods. And we took some kind of questionnaire and observation over 100 respondents. And as you can see here, based on the survey result that we have done, average daily use of water during COVID-19 actually has increased around 50% from average normal if we compare it to the before pandemic condition. So this is increasing happen due to the increasing frequency of hand washing and also for bathing. The frequency of washing hands can reach more than 5 times per person per day. Use water more than 4.5 liter per washing hands. And the other hand, the frequency of bathing also reach more than 2 times per person per day. And people usually use water more than 48 liter per bathing. This kind of increasing water usage is not only shown by the average usage, but also can describe in maximum and minimum water usage. As you can see here, that maximum daily use of water during COVID-19 has increased around 51%. If we compare it, the usage from the before the pandemic condition. And it also happened in minimum water usage. In minimum water usage, the increasing minimum water usage can reach around 53% if we compare it with the normal condition before this kind of pandemic condition. And then the other topic, we will see about the effect of disinfectant. As we realize together that people use massive this kind of disinfectant. So actually, the common chemical that have been used as a disinfectant, for example, chlorine, ethanol, sodium hypochlorite, and etc. So why people tends to believe in this kind of disinfectant? Because based on the information that people have, COVID-19 virus, which is surrounded by lipid, are often more sensitive to disinfectant. For example, chlorine, chloramine, and also chlorine dioxide. But unfortunately, this kind of disinfectant can form hazardous compounds, or we call it as inorganic and organic disinfectant byproduct, or DBP. Of course, this kind of compound have a high potential risk to water quality and also to aquatic organism, and can risk human health. So based on the information that we have during this pandemic, for example, in Surabaya River, the amount of pollutant in Surabaya River is increasing. The one of the indicator is chlorine, which have been used as disinfectant. According to a cotton institution, there was 0.2 milligram per liter of chlorine that has been found in Surabaya River. So of course, this concentration, which have exceeded the standard, the quality standard of raw water, especially for chlorine, there is only 0.03 milligram per liter. And the other topic is about watershed vulnerability assessment. So actually this assessment or analysis still ongoing research in our group in KKTPL. Why we took this kind of assessment? Because this is have a strong correlation with availability or reliability for raw water source, which is raw water have playing an important role to achieve drinking water access. So the study, the case study in this assessment in Upper Citarum watershed, West Java, Indonesia. So actually, what is vulnerability assessment? Vulnerability assessment was carried out to determine the risk and hazard of climate change impact on water resource. Vulnerability can also be considered as a condition of nature and social system that are prone to damage caused by climate change variability. In simple way, we took three main indicators to calculate the index of vulnerability. The three indicator is exposure, consists of rainfall data and land usage data. And the second indicator is adaptive capacity, consists of the ability of community to literate, the community well-being, health facility, and then the water area. And the third indicator is about sensitivity, consists of population density and the number of community that depends on the agriculture. So after we took all of the indicator, then we categorize for each indicator, and then we put a score. We scoring all of each category, and then we calculate the index, the vulnerability index, with this equation. And as mentioned before, actually we overlay all of the indicator into this kind of special thing, yeah. But actually this is still ongoing research. We're still working on it. So this is, but as you can see that some area in Citarum watershed have categorized as a high vulnerability index. So we have to give more attention to those areas. And then the last one is about challenges and opportunities in achieving SDGs target due to COVID-19. First of all, maybe it's good for us to see that the target that have been planned in RPJMN 2020 until 2024. So the target of drinking water that have been planned in RPJMN actually is 100%. We achieve 100% by 2024. This target is attempted to be achieved by several stages of infrastructure, development infrastructure, especially drinking water supply, that plan from 2020 until 2024. Actually, this target also have complete with the funding plan, consists of national budget, regional budget, and community or private sector budget. The other target that is good for us to see target in sanitation access. So in RPJMN 2020 until 2024, actually the target of sanitation access is 90% by 2024. So this target also attempted to be achieved in several stages, especially in development of wastewater treatment plant infrastructure. Yeah, from 2020 until 2024, development of wastewater treatment plant in several area in Indonesia. This target also have completed with funding plan consists of national budget, regional budget, and also private sector, or we call it as KPBU. Despite of all the target that have been planned in RPJMN 2020 and 2024, but we have these two target, drinking water and sanitation, that really have strong correlation with pandemic condition. So I think this sector during and after this pandemic condition actually deal with tough challenges, but also have big opportunity. So for the challenges, especially because we have decreasing income in water supply business. So why this decreasing income have happened? Due to the decreasing demand that coming from the non-household community. For example, the decreasing demand from industrial and commercial sector. So this kind of decreasing income phenomenon, of course, can slow down and can decrease the access that can be provided by institution or water supply company or PDAM, but also can slow down or decrease the access, drinking water access that can be provided by community, by people individually. So the other hand, about the opportunity, why we mention that this sector have a big opportunity, because this sector play an important role as the front line in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So this sector actually needs to be prioritized. For example, based on information that we have in Africa, there are 41,000 additional points of clean water that have been built in South Africa in all corners. So the people in South Africa can have easier access to clean water. So this is the information that we got. And then the last one, if we can add one more question, it would be like this: how does the effort to accelerate the access amid the impact of the crisis due to COVID-19? the main area, there are two main areas that must be refocusing again. The first one about institutional restructuring. So there are not too many institutions have intervention to this sector, and after that, I think about funding issue would be easier to pursue because we can optimize the other source of funding that are outside of the government source. Yeah, I think that's all of my presentation, Pak Arif. I give it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Marcel. Very
Yeah.
interesting. It seems from your presentations that the water needs is has been doubling up.
Yeah,
Bu Marcel,
yeah.
Would you think that it's going to be the same after the pandemic next year?
Yeah, actually, first of all, I want to explain that it's short observation because we have short time. So the number of people we observe mostly in campus area, ya Pak, in campus area. So I think we can do the observation again with the respondent that with the biggest variability of the respondent. So yeah, I think after pandemic condition, there must be an increasing in water need because people still worry and people still adapt the new habit. So I think it still can happen the increasing of water demand. But I think it's good thing to research again, yeah, because our research is only in campus in campus area. We can do a more respondent with difference in income and etc. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also interesting to hear that in South Africa, I believe you mentioned that. I believe we know from the news that they have problems in water resources, right? A couple of years ago, and that but they can survive. And during the pandemic, they provide more water to the people.
Yeah.
That's something that to be followed on.
Yeah.
Be followed by station, I believe.
Yeah, I also surprised, but there are illiterate about that, ya. So we took the information from the article. So I think we can follow that kind of
Example.
Example ya.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Marcel.
Yeah, Pak. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. The next speaker is going to be Rostiati, I believe. Yes. Okay, Rostiati Retno Utami, STMT. The topic is a bit long here. Okay, let me read it first. Risk prioritization and emission modeling of contaminants, emerging concerns, CICs, in water quality management towards safe drinking water, and case studies pesticide contamination in Upper Citarum River Basin. Okay, let me see okay, thank you. Okay, Bu Rostiati Retno Utami graduated from environmental engineering ITB from our institution for both her master's and bachelor's degrees, and currently she's a doctoral candidate of ITB and Radboud University in the Netherlands. Okay, and professional history, she's the member of Association of Sanitary and Environmental Engineering Indonesia. Okay, Bu Rostiati Retno Utami. Okay, the floor is yours, Bu Rostiati.
Thank you, Pak Arif. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me share my screen first. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rostiati Retno Utami, but you can call me Dia. First of all, I want to say thank you to Environmental Management Technology Research Group of Department Environmental Engineering ITB for giving me this opportunity to share
Aku nak pray kok rasanya ngomong pengennya turu
of my
kok.
dissertation on this webinar.
Nek pray pengen
So first of all, this is the picture shows 10 world's most polluted places in the world. 5 of them are river water pollution, and 2 of them are coming from Indonesia. There are gold mining pollution in Kapuas River and contamination in Citarum River. From many water contaminants in the world, CECS, or contaminants of emerging concern, is one of the particular concern nowadays. What is CECS? It is a wide range of man-made chemicals and materials which have been detected or are suspected to be present in various environmental compartments and whose toxicity or persistence are likely to significantly alter the metabolism of a living being while there is limited data on occurrence, environmental fate, toxicity, and mostly not yet regulated. CECS can have a natural or anthropogenic origin, including agricultural, industrial, and domestic activity. So this is how CECS can expose human and environment, especially aquatic ecosystem. The exposure can give, of course, adverse impacts to human and ecosystem. The impacts are sometimes obvious and directly observable, but they can also be more subtle and difficult to detect. For example, delay effects and bioaccumulation. And then how does and how much it exposes human? We can know it from the human exposure modeling, but which one? Which CACS that give effect to human or aquatic environment? We can do a CSCS risk prioritization. Risk prioritization is a method to identify which CECS gives significant effect to human health and environment. Risk prioritization is expected to increase the effectiveness of water quality management. And this is the general problems of risk prioritization approach in Indonesia. First, prioritizing approaches require data on CSS concentration in the environment. CSS prioritization can be particularly challenging in low and middle income countries such as Indonesia because of lacking monitoring data and also lacking of monitoring concentration in water. The limited availability of suitable analysis equipment and technology in association with the high analysis costs can be a burden for the government budget of this country. As a cost-effective alternative, predicted environmental concentration, or later we call PECs, it is a concentration based on modeling, can be an alternative. PEC has the advantage that no monitoring is needed, that also new intervention that can be modeled, but up to data usage, data is required. For example of risk prioritization and concentration prediction modeling, I have a case study in Upper Citarum River Basin of a pesticide contamination. So the methods actually come from this 4 steps. The first one is identification of pesticide use data for emission modeling, and then pesticide runoff modeling, ecological risk prioritization, and the last is human health risk prioritization. First step is questionnaire survey. A questionnaire was designed to obtain information about the amount and types of pesticide used by farmers living in the Upper Citarum River Basin agricultural area. The question is focused on 3 things. The first one is general information, farmland information, and the last one is pesticide application data, such as brands, purchase type of pesticide, quantity, and frequency of application. In total, there are 174 farmers surveyed in 8 districts at different elevation along the Upper Citarum River Basin, and this is the area of the survey. The next step is to collect data from the we use these three equations basically, and we also need a data, a statistic data of agricultural area in the Upper Citarum, and this is the result. There are 31 pesticides in the Upper Citarum River Basin used by the farmers from 14 crops types in Upper Citarum River Basin, and the highest pesticide usage was mancozeb with 370,000 kilogram per year, and the lowest was brodifacoum with 4.77 kilogram per year. The next step is doing the runoff modeling. The runoff modeling is to estimate the runoff percentage so we can know how much pesticide that go to the river water. Sorry. We use two main equations to get predicted environmental concentration value, as we can see here, and we need many parameters to do that, but it's really applicable to get this data and this parameter. After we get the environmental predicted concentration, we have to validate it with the measure concentration. And in my study, I use a passive sampling technique to do that. A passive sampler in Citarum River involves concentration of an analyte as a weighted average over the duration of sampling, resulting a better information on the water quality and make it possible to follow trends in water quality. Monitoring catchment by passive samples reduce the number of sample and laboratory analysis needed as compared to the grab sampling. And this is the result of the pack and make. Unfortunately, from 31 pesticides, there is only 10 that we can detect it in the river water. So we validate this 10 pesticide and we got the good result. From 31 identified pesticide, 29 can be modeled and only 10 that detect in the river water from the sampler. We do a man-Whitney statistic test and do validation between this 10 pack and max value, and the results show that packs are on par or equal with max value. So the predicted concentration value are from the model are significant and can be used as a measure concentration substitution. And next we go to the risk prioritization. We have a two risk prioritization here. The first one is ecological risk prioritization. Actually, the first step that we need to do is to derive or in international databases. We evaluate many databases up to the best 5 database. There are RIVM from Dutch, US EPA, Ecotox knowledge base, and then the pesticide properties database from the United Kingdom, the Finland database on environmental properties chemicals from Finnish, and the last is in risk chemical substances portal from French. And this is the procedure of how we derive the PNEX and do the prioritization. We need, of course, ecotoxicity data of chronic and acute data. For chronic data, we need LC10, EC10, and oxonoic. And from the acute data, we need EC50 and LC50. We calculate the PNEC and then we do the prioritization by calculating the risk indicator based on the measure concentration and also modeling concentration. And then we do the risk prioritization. And this is the result of the prioritization of the pesticides. The left table show the 10 prioritization between the measured concentration and also the predicted concentration or model concentration. As we can see, the result is quite good. There is a quite same range here, except for the beta-sifutrin. But we can say that chlorpyrifos and carbofuran always come up in top three of the highest risk for ecological prioritization. And the right table here, we can see all of the predicted concentration that we do the prioritization, and we can see that actually profenophos and propinep that not detected in the water, but they have a really high risk in the ecological risk prioritization. So we need to give more concern to these two pesticides. The next step is human health risk prioritization. Actually, the step is quite the same, but we need to evaluate the human health database, and we come up to 6 human health database here. The first one is Europesticide database from European Commission, RIVM database from Dutch, the GMPR database from WHO, and US EPA IRIS, BFR from Germany, and the last is ATSDR Toxic Substances portal. For each health reference value, or we will call it later HRVs database, substances were ranked based on this indicator on health, calculating with the HRVs originating from that particular database, resulting in 6 different health risk ranking. The ultimate prioritization was based on the average rank or mean of each substance over the 6 health-based ranking. So this is the procedure. The difference between ecological and human health risk prioritization procedure here are in ecological, we derive standard or PNEX from 5 databases, and we choose the best one based of our evaluation and preference to calculate the risk indicator. But here in human health prioritization, we calculate human health risk indicator by using all of the HRV standards that consist of ADI, TDA, RFD, and MRL, and from that calculation, we took the mean, and then we took the ranking and do the prioritization. And this is the result. The left tables show that carbofuran and chlorpyrifos, both we use measure concentration and the predicted concentration are two the most highly risk in the human health. And for the right here, prioritization rank, we see that carbofuran, propinep, and metomil as 3 of the highest rank. The propinep and metomil is not measured in the river water, so we need to give more attention to these two pesticides. The advantages of the proposed method is first, the method could be a valuable tool in countries where contaminants are not monitored on a regular basis, and the fact that many low and middle income countries have limited resources to do contaminant measurement in the drinking water source. A prerequisite for applying the method is the accurate registration of CECS use data. The method could be further refined by more realistic modeling of runoff process and improving availability of ecotoxicity data on CECS. This methodology can help the water managers and authorities to identify contaminants with highest risk in catchment and can optimize the effectiveness of water quality monitoring programs. But as we know, during this pandemic, there are impact of COVID-19 pandemic to our purpose methods. The first one is the difficulties in interview or survey questionnaire implementation to get the usage data. But it can be handled by using the online interview or questionnaire, but it will need more effort, especially if the respondents come from low and middle income country. From low and middle income family. Another suggestion is to use sales data, but sales data are more generic and cannot be related directly to the actual use in time and space since they do not provide details. Actually, this research is already published. Our research is already published. So if you interest to know more about it, you can download it in this link. Thank you for your attention. It is an honor to share a bit of my study with all of you. Thank you, Pak Arif, for the time, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Bu Rostiati. Okay, we know that some of the pesticides in Indonesia has been banned for years, but we also know that their half-life in the environment is long, I think.
Yes.
So what do you think about that condition, and in relating to your research, do you think you could still measure them or
Yeah, of
and
course.
those actions on? Okay.
Yeah, with this modeling, we also have a half time of the pesticide in soil. So we also calculate it and include it in the model. So I think it's quite a good model to apply in not only in Indonesia but also in other basins to calculate how much pesticide that use and go to the river.
Is it possible to replace the pesticides that are currently being used by Indonesian farmers with the more ecological friendly one?
Yeah, I think so because actually I also do the research about the usage in farmers and the usage of pesticide in Indonesia or especially in the Citarum River Basin is very high compared to other country. So yes, I think we need to do some work to really decrease it, and we can maybe learn from other country how to replace it with the better one.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for all the speakers. We didn't have the chance to discuss things more with Dr. Bao because Dr. Bao has left the room because he has another meeting. But I believe I have conveyed the questions. One question only, I think, for Dr. Bao, which is related to wastewater treatment technology success story. Let me read the question. I think it's from Dinas Kota Bandung. Do you have any success story on the wastewater treatment technology for slum and urban areas near river where space is limited and restricted by slope and elevation? I believe I have conveyed the message like that to Pak Bao. And the answer is like this. Let me read it for you. Okay, thank you for your question. Actually, I should not say a success story which can be directly applied to other countries without considering local conditions. There is no perfect solution fits for all. In case of slums area where space is limited, I think there are several cases in Vietnam. We found that anaerobic baffled reactor or baffled septic tank with anaerobic filter can be a good solution for slums areas in Indonesia. In addition, as I mentioned, proper operation and maintenance plays a significant role to ensure that this advanced septic tank can work properly and produce good effluent. In addition, considering the cost and space issue, this option is also ideal solution. Plus regular dislodging to ensure proper operation and functions. I think that is the question, the answer for Bu Siti Wedina from Dinkes, yeah, from Dinkes Kota Bandung. Okay, I hope Bu Dina is still here. Bu Dina. Okay, okay. Maybe someone can help me with the question. Okay, this is for Bu Marcel. Bu Marcel, there's one question for you. What kind of method you use to calculate the vulnerability index, VI, in watershed? As I know that a lot of theory to calculate the VI, and for the score is based on which theory? how about the vulnerability in groundwater? Because most of people in Indonesia still use groundwater as their raw water source. Thank you. Bu Marcel, if you are still in the room.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Pak
you.
Arif, thank you. I would like to share again about this. Yeah, so I think I have to clarify, as I mentioned before, this is still on, we still working on it. Yeah, so actually this research have not published yet. Yeah, so I think I have to clarify for that before. But based on your question that about the groundwater, so actually we took the three main indicator. The first one is exposure. So exposure consists of rainfall and land usage. You mentioned about groundwater. So as we know that the rainfall could be happen into two kind. Rainfall could be I want to sorry. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah. So as we know that if we have rainfall also can rainfall also means the surface flow and also the infiltration. So I think about groundwater, we took the data from rainfall and also land usage. So if we have, we can calculate the surface runoff. We also have we also can calculate the infiltration because we have the rainfall data. So all of the possibility water source can represent and can accommodate in this research because we take the rainfall data. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all from me, Pak Arif, about the question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Marcel.
Yeah.
Okay, because there is no more questions from the audience, I think we have reached our the end of our session. And because this is from our research group, I believe Bu Dwina Rusmini is still here. Maybe you want please give us some words before we close this webinar, Bu Dwina. Thank you before that. If you still okay, you're still here. Okay, thank you, Bu Dwina.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Arif, for the time. Okay, I think I'm really happy because with this webinar, we have 3 webinars so far, and this today is our last webinar, and I think all of the presenter is give a very interesting topic, and then I think I hope all of the audience can get the important thing of our presentation today, and also we look forward for another collaboration to anyone in this room. I think that we always very happy if we can do some collaboration in our research from our research group. I think that's all, Pak Arif, that I can say. Then and then thank you very much for all of the organizing committee of this small webinar. I think we all work hard together, and then it is a good thing for us, I think. Thank you very much, Pak Arif.
Thank you, Bu Dwina. Okay, then I will just give the room back to the organizing committee. Bu, maybe Lulu or someone from the organizing committee. What is going to be our next? Okay, Bu Paan. Okay. Are we going to have a picture together, Pak An or Bu Lulu?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. I think the answer is yes from the organizing committee. If you please, could you please turn on the video for all the participants so we can have the picture together for this session, which is our last webinar from our research group. And I believe if you have already sign up for the certificate and you have already went through all the administration, I think someone from our research group will contact you regarding the certificate. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time and your attention during the webinar. Okay, now it's the photo time. Okay.
For all participants, I will take the picture. The first page. Cheese. Okay. Second page. Cheese. Okay. The last page. Cheese. Okay, finish. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Then I think we can just leave the room. Yeah, Pak An, is that correct? Or just close the room?
Yes, Pak.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Arif. Thank you, everyone.
Selamat teman-teman. Sukses.
Makasih Bogi. Ini lagunya tercapai juga nih, lagu Vinanya.
PPL enggak itu Bu? Enggak foto bersama dulu?
Ayo foto dulu yuk.
Foto bersama dulu.
Pak Arifnya udah ini mana ya? Coba kita WA lagi. Pak Arif.
Iya diundang lagi aja, diundang lagi.
Terakhir soalnya ya.
Kacamata juga nggak tahu di mana.
Wah, saya bilang jadi nih Vina nih.
Yang baru.
Tenda biru mana tenda biru?
Aduh. 2 hari lagi.
Oh iya benar. 2 hari lagi.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Mungkin background-nya Mak gitu. Yang webinar KKPL.
Ini masih ada tamu. Belum semua keluar.
Terima kasih banyak sudah hadir.